big, massive, lovely welcome to everybody that has decided to join us here at Philosophy Culture. And today's topic is going to be about mentorship. I'm here with my big bro, Costin.
And I'm here with my realist bro, Emils. What's up, man?
What's up, man? And yeah, today's topics are.
Yeah, so we're just gonna talk about the importance of mentorship, just some characteristics about that we believe a mentor should have. Some negative sides with it, some positive sides with it, and yeah, how
Yeah,
and if one should get a mentor. So
yeah,
go and check it out.
for sure. Check it out.
Good
Yeah.
then. So,
Alrighty.
do you have any specific questions or
I
or
have a few questions, but I think we can start off with the classic one.
uh,
Why do you think this topic is um, worth having about mentorship?
because yeah, yeah. I just think that mentorship is important because I think it could help you put yourself, or a good mentor can help you put you on track, uh, you know, and somehow, just help you in your career and with your goals and whatever you want to achieve. Uh, and yeah, not only on the financial, like I don't think mentorship is important just for the financial sort of goals, but also for the spiritual, mental, physical.
Yeah,
Uh,
relationships, whatever.
yeah, exactly. So I think it's like more of a coaching. I would define mentoring as sort of a coaching ish almost. But yeah.
Sure, yeah.
How about you? Why do you think it's important? Or yeah, why do you feel that it's worth talking about?
Yeah, I think this is a really uh, key topic in a way when we are in our own search of success, so to say. And yeah, mentoring is just really, if you can get a mentor, it's a really big help, I think, because like you said, it can help us succeed in whatever areas we are looking for success in. And yeah, I think the word I'm thinking of is guidance. You know,
Yeah.
and mentors can help us to avoid pitfalls that they have fallen into, and yeah, just uh, pass their knowledge forward to the younger generation or the ones uh, that are way up. You know.
Exactly. And I previously said that it's kind of a coaching, but now when I think about it, like you said guidance. So I'm like, yeah, I think like a mentor could take many shapes and forms and have different behaviors. And I guess you could have a mentor that is more coaching, that is actually like teaching you how to do it and the way you should do it, and more like and the other one could be more like guidance focused, so just giving you the path, like which direction you should go and what you should think about, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it's
So I
interesting.
get, yeah. So I guess that's our like definition of mentorship, right?
Hmm. Yeah, like
Or
how would you conclude it, or like summarize it? Yeah, it's the same thing.
yeah, like for me, it's like I said, the key word for me personally is
Mm.
guidance.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
in whatever area you look for success in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think guidance is a suitable word for it. So yeah, I like it. Um,
Yeah.
what's good? Like, but what characteristics do you think a mentor should have for example?
That's
That's
a
like
good
one of
question.
my questions.
Yeah, characteristics.
Hmm.
Well, be generous for one. Be willing to see the other person succeed. You know,
Hmm.
or I don't know, characteristics. Yeah, nice, helpful.
Hmm.
um, a good teacher. I think that would be one.
Yeah.
I want who can listen and really give customized answers based on your questions.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, or a person that can explain things in a way that you understand.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you? What are you thinking of when you think about mentor characteristics?
I would just say, good with not necessarily, yeah, like good with people maybe, and like having a good understanding of other people. And I think like the ability to see the weaknesses in others um
Mm,
would be a good characteristic
that's a hard
feature.
word.
Yeah, yeah. But as you said, like, like when you have a mentor, you like some customized sort of guidance or like teaching. Um, but I think that, yeah, in order to be taught or guided or, yeah, shown the right direction, if you want to call it that way, I think the person that is guiding you or teaching you should be able to see the weakness. Um, so yeah, I think that's an important characteristic. Um, and yeah, just yeah, I think trust is a very good point as well, I would say,
Yeah, for sure.
because
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to help someone when you can't actually trust him um, enough. And I mean, you could obviously help, like if you meet, for example, a man on the street, then he needs you to help him with, I don't know, hold his bike for a second or whatever, like maybe you're fine with it, or he can trust you that way. But as a mentor, and if you're looking to help someone achieve like a certain success, and share your abilities, your skills, and all the secrets to achieving the success that you had, I think you need to maybe uh, have a certain level of trust with the other.
For sure. Yeah. And I like that what you said about seeing weaknesses
Mm,
because yeah, that's kind of that is in a way what I was thinking about when I was saying that a good trait would be a person who can answer questions
mm,
based on like your context and your struggles. So I like
yeah,
that.
and I guess honesty is among those characteristics, or like,
Yeah.
yeah, traits, if you wanna call it that way, because it's like unhonest feedback and um, guidance is kind of useless.
Yeah. For sure. For
So
sure. Yeah. But okay. One of
mm,
the questions I have is:
mm,
do we need one? Do we need a mentor to become successful?
uh, do you need a mentor to become successful? I don't think you need anything, but I think it will be helpful.
All right.
And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some people need some stuff. Like, maybe some people actually need a mentor, or like and now that I'm thinking about it, maybe some people actually need someone to tell them like how it actually is and what you need to do to achieve that level of success or whatever you want to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be success. but in relationships or like mentally or physically or whatever. So yeah, I guess like, do you need one? It would be helpful. It's a weird answer, but yeah, I think it's helpful. And I think the most important part is that I listened to an interview, a short one, and of course, I think the guy that was interviewed was, I think his name was Robert Greene or something.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that he said, like, it usually takes time, and you shouldn't expect it to take like 1 or 2 years, and the mentor will just give you a, like, help you achieve the, like, I don't know, help you
Oh,
achieve
yeah.
some crazy ass, what do you call it, goals. Yeah, go ahead.
You mean like what takes time?
Like to, yeah, I didn't mention it from the beginning, but I
The
think that,
mentoring to pay off, or what are you,
yeah, like the mentoring to sort of pay off, if you want to call it that way.
or like result in a in
Yeah,
your desired outcome?
yeah. And
Yeah,
obviously it depends on what your desired outcome is, right?
yeah,
Because I guess some goals will take a certain amount of time, and some other goals will take like other uh will take like more time.
yeah.
uh so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, like,
Sure.
yeah,
Mm.
what do you think? Like, do we need one?
Do we need what?
Do we need one? Do we need a mentor?
Yeah. I don't know. I agree with you said. Like, some people would really benefit from having one,
Mm. Mm.
especially if you haven't maybe gotten the optimal guidance while you were younger,
Mm.
and or if you haven't gotten, you haven't learned things in a specific area that seems foreign to you. I think you can use uh, you can really use a mentor in those um, areas of your life then that seem foreign to you. But in a lot of ways, I think in nowadays we have many resources we can take from the internet. Like we can, or not even that. We have so many books. Library is such a good place for also to kind of find mentoring in a way. We can read books and learn. We can read about the mistakes that other people have done, and yeah, read articles and talk to other people. you know so there are many ways to go about it, I think, because to find a real mentor, I don't know actually how you would go about it, because I think it's not that simple, or at least if you don't have the resources to.
Yeah. Yeah, I have so many thoughts right now. I have so many
Yeah,
thoughts.
I noticed that. I noticed that. I was just rambling. I was just.
Yes, yes, and I have I'm having a really hard time to actually try to put them on like paper or something. Like, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, but it's really interesting because I think, like in the same interview with Robert Greene, he said that, all, like, this like mentorship is kind of like, if you cut it down in small pieces, is kind of what humans have done through our entire existence and through our entire evolution.
Yeah,
Because he said that something that, people are evolving or like developing, um, by looking at other people and see how they are doing certain stuff,
yeah,
right? So that's why he sort of emphasized that mentorship is really important. And at the same time, he said that he also mentioned internet, but I'm not sure whether he mentioned that it's really. I think he mentioned rather that some people are, spending a lot more time claiming that you could find all those things on the internet, which is kind of true because you can find a lot of, as you said, you can find many audiobooks, like digital books, YouTube clips, podcasts, whatever you want to call them, on the internet and learn from those. But at the same time, he sort of argued that it is better to actually learn physically or realistically from a human being.
Yeah.
Which I completely agree with. But as you said, where do you find one? So I guess the easiest way, the easiest approach would be to, start off with the internet.
Yeah.
As a sort of, not mentor, but, have the internet and what you can find there as a sort of guidance.
Yeah.
But obviously you have to be critical and analytical to everything you find on the internet. That is also really important to emphasize.
For sure, yeah. Depending also what you read, but
Yeah.
I guess that more or less applies to everything actually. So yeah. Uh,
And I listened to another. This was a clip actually by Simon Sinek.
yeah.
Sinek.
Yeah. Cynic, yeah.
And he said that he was just applying to so many different jobs, and he was just when he applied to certain jobs, he was more concerned about the actual people that he was going to meet than the paycheck and the benefits, because he just wanted a mentor and to create a sort of network. And
Exactly, me too.
yeah, I think that's a really good point. You asked the question, where should you find a mentor and where should you begin? And I think that just basically, the first level would be to uh start working, and I guess talk to your manager, or someone that is sort of somewhat closer to your level than people you may find on the internet that say that they make I don't know how many millions on
Right.
through drop shipping and Amazon FBA or whatever, because I think we had this discussion before, that
Yeah.
is really hard to get advice from someone that is 100 steps in front of you
Yeah.
than one that is 10 or fewer, that is kind of at the same
Exactly.
level.
Yeah. No, that's really a valid point. But I think you can also find those people on the internet, but they are maybe a bit more challenging to find since they
Mm.
aren't uh, as you don't see them that much because they aren't that mainstream
Exactly. Yeah.
in the internet world. So yeah, but for sure. But yeah, working is a good method for sure to socialize.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Because to be honest, what other options are there besides paying them? Which is
Yeah, that's the
the
thing.
most popular one.
And the thing is, in the same interview, Simon said that Simon says, no, but Simon said, Simon said that mentorship is not actually like a win or lose situation. It should be more of a friendship. And he gave an example of he going out with not that, dating, but just jumping on calls and going for dinners with one of his managers, I think, when he was younger. And that thing just evolved. I
Yeah.
mean, they started going to more dinners, and I guess jumping on more calls, and just
Mm.
uh talking with each other more often and guiding each other, because he said that he because he said that there was one day when he like Simon said to his mentor, like, thank you for being my mentor. And like his manager said back to him that thank you for being mine. And that's when he understood that mentorship is much more than just, actually a sort of hierarchical sort of situation or like
Yeah,
structure on the whole thing, but
or
more
like
like a
one-sided. Yeah.
lateral. Yeah, exactly. So that's
Yeah. But yeah, like it should be that way. But I feel like,
yeah.
of course, I don't have like much experience with mentoring and all that stuff. But um, I'm thinking like those people that you want to mentor you as a person,
Mhm.
and they are usually, more successful and more busy as well. So their time is, they know what their time is valued. What.
Yes.
So I don't know. I kind of find that as a bit of a dilemma almost, because
Mm.
like where, well, yeah, I guess you must really put the emphasis on just building relationships, like genuine connections with people. Then you can get that equal dynamic.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like it's kind of hard. Like, if I want my mentor now to be like the CEO of, let's say, Volvo, or I don't know, Spotify or whatever,
Yeah,
someone that is kind of like I have no connection at
yeah,
all with their
yeah,
organization or anything they do, then it's obviously like much harder. But I mean, if you start working um, with that person, then I guess it becomes much easier to ask him for advice, feedback, and develop that relationship into a more uh, mentor ish sort of
yeah, for sure.
situation.
Yeah, there was this one podcast. I forgot who it was. But it was one guy that was telling it like his story. Maybe it was even Lewis House, maybe.
Mm.
How he worked in a company when he was, or he had gotten a internship at a company,
Hmm.
and so after a few months, he offered his what you call it, his boss, so to say, that he could work for free if he then in exchange could get like an hour each week,
Mm.
I think, just to ask him questions, the boss, and yeah, I guess that's also a way you can kind of go about it with getting mentorship. So yeah.
And that's the thing, because sometimes I feel that some leaders or managers or whatever you want to call them don't actually know how much we younger generations would appreciate a mentor in this fast developing world. And like
Digitalized, yeah.
yeah. So I don't know, I think that more people should be aware of this sort of concept, and especially the managers, even though I completely agree that they are very busy and have a lot of other responsibilities than sitting around with some teenagers or like young
Yeah,
adults in their 20s. But you get the idea.
for sure, yeah. But there are people capitalizing on that demand, though. With all the successful YouTubers and all those people who sell courses and everything. So yeah, it's interesting dynamic for sure. How it works.
Yeah. And yeah, you said that about what do you call it, the internship. And I think like one of my classmates sent me a sort of Instagram reel of Gary Vee, and he said the same thing. Like, the most important part about the internship is not the it's not the salary or whatever you do. It's just about networking. So networking, not networking. That's like the top thing. So yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah. Make friends and influence people is what
Yes.
I'm thinking about right now, actually. The book, you know. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, it's really important. It's really key.
Mm, yeah. And I don't know, like, paying for a mentor would feel so weird somehow.
What it?
Even though even though you could get some really valuable knowledge from it. But again, I think there is some sort of there is something in that relation that is missing to be 100% complete. Because as Simon said, like it's more of a friendship ish. But when you pay somebody to be your mentor, it's like I'm paying you to be my friend so that I can get something out of like your knowledge. Like I'll just pay you so you can just share your thoughts and opinions and experiences with me. But at the same time, yeah, like if you look at it from another perspective, you pay for that person's sort of time. So
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like uh, if that is what Simon like said, if that's his perspective on the mentorship, I think
he
it's
didn't
too
he did
wholesome.
yeah, he didn't say anything about money. That's just my own opinion.
Oh, there. Okay, okay. All right. No,
Yeah.
but like,
So,
but wait, wasn't that his opinion also as well? Like that it
no,
should
no, no,
be
no,
like
no.
mutual.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That it should be like a sort of friendship that you mentor someone and the other guy or girl mentors you. So there
Yeah,
should
yeah,
be
yeah,
like a sort of yeah.
for sure. But like, my thing is with that perspective. I don't know. I think it's too wholesome in a way because then let's say a guy I don't know mentors like many young people. Then
Mm,
he is supposed to have all these friendships. I don't know. Like it would be so time consuming because I think the idea would be to help a person like pass on knowledge, then let them go, or like I don't know, not to upkeep relationship. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a interesting
yeah.
thing to explore
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah. Like I mean, I'm not sure about it either. Maybe it works good that well, or maybe it doesn't work as well.
because
Uh
like I'm thinking we pay for psychologists, for psychiatrists, for doctors, and like they help us with our problems, you know. And so I'm thinking of it as that sort of relationship.
sort of more professional really. Yeah. Mm,
But I don't know. Like I would, of course, prefer the more mutual one, where
yeah.
um, uh, that would be a one I would prefer,
Mm.
both if I was a mentee or a mentor. So um,
I guess it depends from case to case. And I guess every mentorship, like how would you even call that thing? Like like that's relationship between a mentor and a mentee. A mentor, yeah, whatever.
just help.
Yeah. Yeah, I just need help.
Just need
I just
help.
need help. Yeah. 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 So I don't know.
Because I think information is what we are seeking
Mm.
in the end of the day. So, um, but yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting because like our first mentors are our parents. You know,
Yes. Yes.
so I think the relationship route would be the best one for sure.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
Because then you can always go back to that person and you know, uh, yeah, keep a relationship. It doesn't have to be like super, you know, constant when you are constantly keeping in touch and stuff. But like it can just be there, and when you wanna update one another on or on something, or you know, and maybe
Mm.
even become future, you know, business partners or whatever, can always just be there in the background. So
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. I completely agree with you.
so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you have another question?
No, I'm out.
All right. I just have one, and I don't know if this one is so complicated, or maybe it is, or maybe it's tricky. Uh,
Let's explore.
yeah. Are there any positive or negative sides with mentorship or mentoring, or like being a mentee, I guess, because we are not looking from a mentor perspective, but rather from a mentee perspective,
Yeah.
like a future mentee. Uh,
Hmm.
so
Hopefully.
yeah, yeah.
If there are any negatives, um, well, I guess it depends on on both
Mm,
parties, both on the mentor and on the mentee. Like if they really want to just the value exchange to be on good terms and you know with good vibes and everything. So if the mentor is, you know, isn't the right fit for the mentee, then it won't be a nice time spent for either of the parties, I think. Uh, and the same goes with the mentee. If the mentee is has the wrong mindset, totally wrong assumptions, or like you know, uh, principles
mm.
on stuff, you know, or the wrong values, or you know, you can. So I guess it depends on from case to case, or
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that there are many positive sides with mentorship or like being mentored, and like we have discussed them. But from the like negatively speaking, as you said, I think it depends from case to case. And I guess it depends whether you can actually take and go beyond your ego and accept someone telling you that you're wrong, that you're not doing the right thing, that you should sometimes maybe actually change yourself to achieve your goals. Um, and on the other side, it may just depend on the mentor himself or herself, you know, like, is she too sort of um,
Too bossy. No, I don't
yeah, like too bossy, too controlling, or like thinking
know.
that he or she is the one, you know. Um, yeah, that's why I think it's so much easier to actually have a mentor that is on almost the same level as yourself, and or like has started on from the same sort of level or place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It could be. It could be. I would say that you know the ones that are like a thousand steps
Mm,
uh, above us or in front of us shouldn't be totally neglected either.
mm.
Because
Yeah.
I think even in those cases, I think it depends from the person to person,
Mm.
how well maybe they remember the earlier struggles, or just because maybe those super far ahead of you can maybe even give more sound advice than the ones that are maybe just a little bit ahead of you,
Mm.
who are still figuring things out. So
Yeah, yeah. And I guess that's your own job to try to figure out and analyze what each person can bring to the table, you know.
yeah,
So yeah.
for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. And I don't think mentorship does necessarily have to be so complicated. You know, I think you could start just on a basic level with your friends or even your family, even though it might be somewhat harder with your family. Um, but I think that if you have like a friend that
How
you,
does sorry,
yeah,
continue.
yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering how would it be harder with your family?
Because I think that some, I think your parents would have some biases sometimes, I guess, that they
Yeah,
that they always look at you like, yeah, you're doing good, like, yeah, you know, go
they
ahead and
aren't
do
right.
what you think you are supposed to do or something, you know, like I'm sure you will do, like you will make it and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, they aren't harsh enough,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Which I mean is, I guess, is normal, you know. It's like you or, you know, they are your parents. It's obviously that they are, you know, like sort of more biased. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I think that a friendship or a, yeah, a good friendship is a good point to start,
yeah,
and to not exclude the other sort of um, the other option of having multiple mentors, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I don't think you should be limited to just one. You could have, for example, have a mentor in, I don't know, in relationships, or like one
Sure.
mentor in business, or you could have like 10 different mentors in business. And you know, like, yeah, there are so many options. So I don't think you like, I don't think one should limit oneself to just one thing, one mentor.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It feels like we are like talking a little bit in circles almost.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, maybe I don't know. Uh, but yeah, when you said having multiple mentors,
yeah.
I'm again thinking about like you can as well have multiple coaches that you pay. So
Yeah, yeah,
how would I don't know. I have a hard time seeing a clear difference, to be honest. Maybe besides that, mentorship in the perfect case should be, like almost like a friendship. But
yeah,
I think you can as well develop friendships with coaches. But
yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah, it feels more like when you're saying a coach, like, yeah, I'm having a fitness coach, or I'm having a, I don't know, like whatever sort of coach it is. Uh, then it feels more like you're referring towards a more financial part of a mentor, maybe. Yeah.
Mm,
While mentoring feels more like pro bono.
mm,
Uh, so yeah, maybe that's the definition. But as you said, you know, like you could have a great relationship with your coach, and you could have a great relationship with your mentor as well. And I guess you could pay your mentor, and like you could pay your coach. So
yeah. Yeah.
and
We
then
will just, yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking that there are so many definitions nowadays to so many different positions, or like how would you call it?
Different labels. I don't know.
Yeah, but like, yeah, there are so many different definitions to the same thing, just to make it sound fancier or like less sort of, I don't know, less formal maybe.
Hmm.
I don't know if you, I don't know.
Interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you thinking about like then?
No, I just like, you could call like, I was just thinking that they're like, for like, if you are working, this is something, off topic, but if you're working in a certain position, you can have like multiple names, you know,
Right.
just to make it sound more like either more fancy or less fancy or more normal. Uh,
Yeah, um, now we're going off topic, but I was watching this video how words with time have you know gone to a more softer language
yeah.
and weren't as harsh as they were before. Like
Mm,
uh, in the early days when we had like people who are disabled,
yes.
they would be called. I think uh, now I don't know exactly the words, but like they would maybe call the people disabled or and stuff like that. And now with time, they have developed from disabled to people who need who have special needs, or
Mm,
uh,
mm.
but maybe that is maybe what you are aiming at.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's kind of the same thing. Instead of calling your boss for your boss, you would just call her or him for like your supervisor,
right,
you know.
yeah,
So I think we're looking at, yeah, we're talking about the same.
for sure. Interesting.
Yeah, but that's kind of topic. So yeah,
We can explore that in some other episode.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Good. Cool.
Being all right, guys. So thank you for listening to this episode about mentorship. We hope that you got some good knowledge or some good, interesting perspectives from this episode, and yeah, that it will help you navigate like spin.
Exactly. And we are looking forward to answer to your comments down in the comment section. And please hit the subscribe button to follow Emil's and mine philosophy cultural journey,
Yeah,
if you want to call it that way.
philosophical topics,
Yeah,
discussions.
yeah, and yeah, I really like. We really hope you enjoyed this video, and that's all for us.
That's all for us. Until next time.
Adios.